Summer camp sounds like so much fun. I remember having, cowboys and Indians that we used to play when we were kids, David. And I
Oh,
remember we used to have toy cap guns and we used to have little teepees and tomahawks. We used to run around. That's what we did in Canada. You know what? And we used to make fun. That was like an American tradition to run around with guns and how bad it is. Summer camp is a privileged place that kids get to go and be kids, and it feels like an eternity. Bonds are mated during these summer months, and they become the best days of growing up for some. Hi, everybody. My name's Stuart Brisgell. That's David Solomon, my co-host. Today, I'm making him my co-host. As we peel back the multitude of layers on topics, it is raw, it's unfiltered, and this serves as an outlet to voice opinions, ideas, experiences from every corner of life. We're going to dive into this issue as we do many other pop cultures, politics, and quirks of existence. Whether it's venting over daily's frustration of tackling big questions that shape our world. This is what the Rant Network was all about. We rant Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern for the last 3 and almost a half years. Thank you for joining our podcast. David, I'd like you to do me a favor. What are your memories of summer camp at West Park Day Camp? Or how about what you did during the summer? Did you play cowboys and Indians?
you know what? It's so funny you say that, and I'm brought back to a time where, yes, we did, but today that's the most politically incorrect thing we could talk about. But it seems to be when you said it, my first reaction is, oh no, here he goes again. But actually, no, oh no, here he goes again, and good. Because look what we've done in our society today. We've gone ahead and we have literally cleansed ourselves of certain ways of how we accept certain things in life. Okay? Words we use, way we conduct ourselves, how we treat other people. It just seems to be, Stuart, and I was last night at a Douglas Murray event, which I'll explain in a little bit what that really was in detail. But Douglas Murray, we've talked about in this podcast, is a British journalist who's basically gone around and telling the world media and leaders that you are not getting the real truth out of this war in Gaza. And it seems to be that when you report about one thing, it's okay, and you have to do it this way, the way the left wants you to do it, except when it comes up to, what do they call again, those people? Oh, yeah, Jews. And so when you talk about summer camp, my recollection of camp was, yeah, we had fun. There was swimming. There was, swimming lessons, Stuart, which I still sucked at. There were, all kinds of things that we did as kids. What we didn't learn exactly was hate, violence, guns, you name it. But if you were here in Montreal today, you had access, as of this past Monday, to join the youth summer program at McGill University. Now, this is not McGill University bringing it to you folks. This is the SPHR, the so-called Student for Palestinian group there that has been running these encampments at universities across North America. And they decided that they were going to launch this youth program. Now, I want you to take a picture. This is a picture from the 1970s. And I hope you like the guns, and I like the people who are with kafiyas and what have you. And they want to teach your children Palestinian history, Palestinian uprising, Palestinian oppression, Palestinian suffering, the Palestinian cause. And who are the supposed counselors, ladies and gentlemen? Professors from McGill University and others. And it's incredible how, without a doubt, Stuart, this is the obscenity that has gone on. Last night, the question that floated around the room is, why us? If Douglas Murray said, if you switched the name Jew to transgender, would you have a youth summer program calling for death to transgender individuals. Now, would you have, if you had a camp that was called, youth summer program where we're going to be talking about death to Black people? No. Could you imagine a program that said, hey, listen, I'll go even one step further using a Stewartism here. Let's have a white supremacy camp where we're going to talk about the Ku Klux Klan and Klansmen and Nazism. That wouldn't happen. But when it comes to this, it's okay. Now, McGill University has tried for months, poorly, to try to get rid of this encampment. And you can't. You can't get rid of this encampment because the mayor of Montreal doesn't want to do it. The police is being blamed. Everybody's pointing the fingers, but nobody's doing anything. And McGill was told to go negotiate with these encampment folks, Stuart. Well, guess what? McGill decided to take a tough stance. Originally, they offered them amnesty. Originally, they offered them a whole bunch of things just to get off their campus. They didn't. Instead, they build up this gross-looking encampment in the middle of downtown Montreal, and won't let any journalists in. No one's allowed into these encampments. No one's allowed to see anything. We don't even know if there are people going in there. We have no idea. But since Monday, they've claimed that they've had this 4-week camp, and suddenly McGill says we need to take a tough stance. Stuart, the embarrassment that is McGill, that has become the Canadian government, that has become the city of Montreal, has gone global. And this youth summer program, now it's being tried, other places are trying to copy this. This is now your new normal, and a big thank you and applause to the media and to the politicians, to the lack of intestinal fortitude of heads of schools to permit this to occur.
David,
okay.
It's not very often that I am utterly speechless on the insanity that is going on. David, you're right. I'm famous for going, quote, off topic. I'm bringing up ideas and trying to push other ideas in over you. And, it's been 3.5 years. We know that you're the history maven, and we know I always misquote tons of those facts. However, I draw back to a time, always it seems to be from World War II, which frustrates David to no end, because I draw reference to a time of history where the world went up in smoke. And it didn't happen quickly. It happened slowly. And there are certain key things and certain cliches were created. Now, is this the only point in history that these events happen? The answer is no. Modern history, you have Syria, you have Africa, many countries in Africa. You have other countries in the Middle East. You have China and it's a nonstop worldwide pandemic of utter ignorance. And I think you're right, David. I think it is all about the politicians and what they care about on being reelected. You said that offline, but I got to tell you, David, I've been thinking about what you're saying. Where is the attention on the tens of thousands being massacred throughout the Middle East? Nothing to do with Israel. Nothing to do with Israel. You know what? Where were the people where women and children were gassed by Assad? I don't hear any uproar. How about the tens of thousands of little children being abducted in villages throughout the continent of Africa? Doesn't matter. Montreal, a pillar in the world with an iconic named school as a mainstay, because really just about everything else has left Montreal. Let's not forget 1977. However, here we are with a PLO styled encampment. Let's teach kids how to friggin' be terrorists, in Canada. Canada, wow. South Park was right. Just blame Canada because it's ridiculous what's going on there. Have you ever noticed, the South Park kids, the Canadians have the open where the head bounces and the American kids just open. This is just really funny that the place that's anti-gun anti-American, but really, because Canada's like anti-American because
whoa. Now, once again, you're doing it. You're not. It's not an anti-Americanism. That's a typical "woe is me" American mindset. Just by the way, the whole world hates America, but that's another thing.
well, thanks.
Let me give you a different perspective, a slightly different perspective. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Okay, one of the things I heard last night was, like we're looking at social media and we're looking at the media and we're looking at the politicians and they're all, with the same narrative. I want to ask you a couple of questions, okay, Stuart? And this is why I believe that these encampments make sense in way things, just how it emerged and all that stuff. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you know how many, apparently this is what we got from Douglas Murray last night, how many CNN, MSNBC journalists are actually in Gaza? Do you know how many? 0. Yep. You know why?
Why, David?
Because the Hamas won't let them in. Who are the only journalists who are actually reporting from within Gaza? Al Jazeera.
Oh.
Qatari-based lying pieces of garbage who are now broadcasting to the world the lies. They're the mouthpiece of Hamas. And the media and the social media and the politicians are all going, oh no. Al Jazeera is recognized as a credible journalistic source. Sponsored. Could you imagine North Korea state-sponsored journalism in Gaza? And you would accept that? Or from North Korea? If North Korea is, and they keep saying it, based on state-sponsored journalism. But here it's not state-sponsored journalism. We forgot the little addendum there to remind everybody that, oh, by the way, this information should be distilled and filtered. And he spoke about that last night, Douglas Murray. And so we've indoctrinated politicians. You look at your squad, look at the NDP in Canada, look at other places, to believe the left narrative, to believe the hate fest. And so where is, where is AOC to get rid of these encampments? She supported it. Where are the NDP in Canada to get rid of it? They supported it. Justin Trudeau finally woke up and said the other day, this encampment, folks, it took this poster to remind Justin Trudeau of the mistakes he's made. Him, his anti-Semitic Melanie Joly, who was his foreign affairs person. This is the kind of thing that's coming to a neighborhood near you. And if you don't stop it, Stuart, this is my question to you. What would happen tomorrow if that popped up in Harvard or at Columbia or at MIT or at, let's say, a Florida university, Stuart? What would happen if that happened in DeSantis' backyard?
It would be shut down.
No, but would Joe Biden?
Let's start Klan camps. Let's start all of these. I think you're right, David. You've started it off. I think it's a beautiful, smart thing. I think the left, which the progressives are a part of, which isn't really what the Democrats were about. They just been hijacked by people that just want to create anarchy. But they're anarchists.
I don't buy that they were hijacked. It happened on their watch. It's been going on for decades. This isn't new. Obama in 2014 when he was elected, was this any better with Obama? No. I should say 2012. It was no better. So 2008 when he was elected, not 2012, 2008. It's no better. So to hear the Democratic Party has been going that way for quite some time. You attract the likes of Bernie Sanders and AOC and Rashida Tlaib and all the rest of those people. And if you were to ask them today, is this a great idea? I'm surprised that, nobody, that like good old, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez have not come up with this idea and said, let's pass legislation. We should have a youth summer program across the United States, on Palestinian rights, because as they say, Netanyahu is a genocidal war criminal. So therefore, let's put up we should have these youth summer programs and should be state sponsored. I mean, that would make so much sense to me coming out of the new Democratic Party.
David, unfortunately, it's a wrap. A huge thank you for lending us ears, eyes, time, spending it with the Rant Network. We enjoy having you. It's been a real pleasure with this discussion, David. Your support means the world to us. We're excited to welcome you back for another engaging, insightful discussion. Maybe we'll show you pictures that are, got blondes and redheads versus people wearing scarves and holding AK-47s. Stay connected with us on our social media channel. Don't hesitate to PM us, whether you agree with us or disagree with it, whether you're passionate or not. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, unfiltered, unedited, we put out whatever the hell we feel like it. Because we're trying to let you know, guys, what we're seeing, what you're not seeing. And your input is invaluable. Once again, thank you for joining us. Until next time, David, what do you got to say?
Folks, get your sunscreen. It's going to be a beautiful summer.